There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonko table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonko table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, folks, welcome to the latest and the greatest from the Yonko table. That is the voice of Grandmaster Hoop coming at you from the halls of Harrenhal, where the ghost of Harrenhal haunts those in Harrenhal. Because that's right, folks, we're here to talk about House of the Dragon Season 2. That's right, the hit HBO series that is the spinoff to the hit Game of Thrones series that looks to give us details on the dreaded Targaryen civil war. And we're here for more dosage of House of the Dragon and the Flames and the Rhaenyras and the Aegons and all that. We're here to discuss. So we have episode 3 here, which I hate the fact that they don't give us the title of these until much later. The Burning Mill. We're here to discuss the Burning Mill. With me, as always, is Dr. Jace Attorney. Dr. Jace Attorney, do you... Let me hold on what they say. They said, do you support the babe killer or do you support the untrue king?
Those are my only options.
Correct.
Those are terrible options.
Choose.
You must choose. No, I can't. not with those titles. Jesus. But yeah, no, this episode was fine. I liked it. It was fun.
Fun. Sure. I guess it had moments. Overall, I don't know. But look, we are not alone in this deep dive on Moondancer into this episode. Let's see who else will be joining the conflict today. All right, Dr. Rika, we missed you last week. Episode 3, did it do it for you? Did it pick up rightfully where it needed to from episode 2? How are you feeling so far?
I'm intrigued. I think a lot of our conversations for last season was they're having to do a lot of setup to get us to where we're at right now, as far as like almost like speed running through a bunch of years. And now for this season, and I imagine beyond until the end of the series, it's a very tight window of time. The actual war doesn't last more than like 2 or 3 years. It's very, very short. So I find it really interesting to kind of be able to sit with the characters for some of these intricate interactions. And we got to see where mistakes are made and misunderstandings come up, and the tension between Alicent kind of in her party, as well as Rhaenyra in her party, and how there are similarities that I think kind of culminates in the ending we got for the episode. So I found it really intriguing. I like some of the political maneuverings or lack of maneuverings that we got to see. And so, yeah, I enjoyed the episode.
Well said. There's always much to be enjoyed here watching House of the Dragon. And yes, we can pick apart the intricacies of the politics. We could pick apart the characterizations of some of these folks. And of course, we must pick a side. So before, obviously, if you can't pick a side at this point, it is what it is. But let's do this. Let's check in with our friends, the Brackens and the Blackwoods. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we got a little bit of the Blackwoods and the Brackens in season 1 in a brief scene that was actually really funny. Well, funny. Dr. Jace, I doubt. Let me help you out. Let me jog your memory. And Dr. Rika, correct me if I'm wrong. That little boy that tried to pledge or asked for Rhaenyra's hand in marriage, right? Was he one of them?
I can't recall off the top of my head if he was one of them, but we did, like you say, we did see both families and the tensions between them in the first season. So the names were at least familiar, but I'm not going to claim to know the two characters we saw interact.
Okay.
Okay.
I got it. It's right here.
Okay.
It was that little boy. It was that little boy. So that little boy tries to, Rhaenyra, I'll give you children, I'll give you land. And she's like,
No.
that's a little boy. No. And then some dude was making fun of him, right?
I remember that, yeah.
And then the little boy draws his sword. And then the older dude draws his sword. And they start going at it. And then Rhaenyra's walking off. She's like, I ain't got time for this. Turns around, that little boy slaying that dude. So that was our little tease of the Blackwoods and the Brackens. And now we have it here where tensions are even higher than ever. Goodness gracious. I did not think this 3-on-3 was about to turn into this giant bloodbath. And when I say giant, I was like, look at all them bodies.
There's like
That was a good amount.
every blade of grass had a body to it. There was no gaps, no you couldn't see the grass anymore. Just crazy.
Call it what you will. Is this loyalty or is this hatred? What is this?
Oh, that's hatred. There's like, yeah, there's no way. They wanted the excuse. They just needed that final push. Although I do like that shot, the one where it's like, I don't know his name, but the one who drew the first sword. One that drew the first sword, and you're like, oh man, is he really gonna? You dare? Is he gonna commit? Is he gonna actually do it? And literally the next millisecond is he's on the floor and the sword is in his neck. I'm like, whoa, god damn, that really escalated quickly. That's wild. Goodness.
Actually, you can meme that. Take the Anchorman meme where Will Ferrell.
Oh,
wow, that escalated real quickly.
It
got out of hand fast.
It works.
Meme that. Dr. Rigger, were you saying something?
Oh no, I was just saying bad blood between the families. So your question about like, is this about loyalty or is it? I mean, similar to Dr. Jace, I think they just needed one little spark and everything was gonna take off. So they didn't really need a lot to inspire fighting amongst them.
So are they using the excuse of the usurper and the promised queen to just go ahead and fuel their bloodbath?
I think I imagine this will happen, over time of like, there's going to be some things we're going to be able to see on screen as far as like battles and whatnot and some of the fighting, and maybe some things we won't be able to see. But to y'all's point of just like from one scene to the next where we just see a sea of bodies, I think it goes to show that like this is going to be incredibly bloody, that war is messy. That really, I really like I know this was from the previous episode, but just the line from the sex worker towards Aemond of like, well, when princes kind of lose their temper and react and respond, the people that are most impacted are their small folks. The people that are most impacted are not typically royalty. And so I thought this was a great way to open the episode to kind of depict that. Because ultimately, yeah, you had, I think they said in the after, the behind the scenes of the episode that like in the Riverlands, there's like 40,000 soldiers that are available. So how many just died because of that initial infighting? So this is not going to be great for a lot of people.
No. And specifically, this episode details that the Riverlands are key to this conflict. As you just said, 40,000 soldiers have not laid claim. Now, some of them are, there's a rumor mill. Some of them are claiming Aegon. Some of them are, claiming Rhaenyra. But Harrenhal being the largest castle in the realm, which I did not know this. I was like, wow, Harrenhal? Okay. that little rinky-dink thing that was like torn up in Game of Thrones. I was like, okay,
Oh,
sure,
we know her?
Harrenhal. We do know Harrenhal. We have seen Harrenhal. This is where Tywin Lannister in his camp set up shop in season 2. If you remember, Arya, Gendry, and Hot Pie were working here in Harrenhal.
Oh, okay.
This is where she met Jack and Hagar, the faceless man.
The faceless, yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
So we have seen, but that Harrenhal was relatively destroyed compared to what we're seeing here. Just a really big castle, but nobody's here. Nobody's here. Yeah, this poses a problem. It's ripe for the taking, and this episode, I think, one thing I did like about this episode, and I think Rhaenys said it with regards to the men trying to make these decisions on behest of their women leaders. In reality, they're making a lot more trouble than what it's worth. And so, Daemon hot on, the path of Harrenhal with Caraxes, and Sir Criston Cole, Hand of the King, too, making his way there. This is great, in my opinion, because you literally have probably the 2 biggest hotheads in the show we're going to see them come to a head. And it's like both of them have already made so many mistakes. Can this go right?
So Criston is going to Harrenhal? That's where he's heading? Okay.
Yes.
I thought he was going to the Riverlands.
Harrenhal is in the Riverlands.
The topography is not my best suit.
There's a map in the books. You can go look at that map in the books.
Go ahead, bring it up.
I have it.
Open it, go. Oh, you're actually opening it.
All right.
It's not gonna, because you have over.
Oh, yep. It doesn't count.
There it is. Harrenhal.
You see it.
Well,
do you know some of those words?
There's River Run, where the Tullys also play a big factor. There's Harrenhal right there. Harrenhal is key to the Riverlands. So, as Dr. Rico alluded to, we're about to get our big battle here. But yeah, no, it's just interesting because we know what's about to come. And ultimately, I don't know how this goes. The Strong family, the last of the Strongs, are pledging Rhaenyra, which is great in my opinion. But they got nobody there. Daemon waltzed in there.
Yeah, the intent is to seize Harrenhal as like the post and to gather people to come to Harrenhal. Because there's no one there except ghosts and regrets. So.
Right. And I get it. Balerion the Dread. He lit that place up. There's probably a good amount of ghosts there. Probably don't want to go there. But you can, like you said, you can garrison folks there. So this is a major strategic point. We got one side. Let's check in with the Greens. So, this was Criston Cole's first big kind of move as Hand of the King, which we already feel some type of way, right? Dr. Rico, we didn't check in with you. Don't you love Criston Cole?
He's great.
So because I do know book details, I knew this was coming, but it doesn't make it any better to actually watch it play out. I will say, because I wasn't here last week, I just want to shout out Reese, who is the actor for Otto Hightower. He's great. He is really doing it. So just wanted to give a little acting shout out. I think with Patty who was the actor for Viserys last season, who was such a presence. It's really wonderful to still have like a veteran actor around, like kill his scenes and just be really excellent. So just want to shout him out. But yeah, Kristen is a fool, and then so is Aegon. And I think, you know, I'm not gonna credit the next thing I'll say because they said this in the after effects, or after kind of credits conversation about the episode, which I agree with, is that Aegon is very much wanting someone who is not as politically savvy because he doesn't want someone to outshine him. And that feels very clear in his selection of Kristen, and even the interaction between Alicent's brother with Kristen in the courtyard, of just like, oh, you've really, you know, really ascended, considering your lack of experience. Yeah. And what's so fascinating is, in a different timeline, I think I would be rooting for Kristen. That, like, this idea of someone who's a lowborn and someone who we don't really know a lot about their past, but they really worked, you know, to get to where they are. I'm very on board with like an underdog story, but he's such a piece of shit. And it's like done in kind of a warped way of like this working, like he's failing up. He's not necessarily in that. Those kinds of stories piss me off because I'm just like, you don't deserve to be there. You worked hard to a point. So, okay, being a knight makes sense. And then everything else is like, you've killed multiple people. You have not actually done anything politically really savvy. Like your temperament is like non-existent. Like, it's just yeah, but it's so exciting to watch at the same time. Like, I feel like you need characters that you're watching there in these types of shows, is particularly with Game of Thrones or even something like Succession, where you're like, oh, okay, this person's a piece of shit. I'm aware they're a piece of shit, so it's going to be so much fun to watch like this all unravel pretty awfully for really everyone around, because he doesn't know what he's doing and he's overwhelmed, and you can clearly see that kind of in the dynamics of today's episode as well. I'll stop though. Get off my soapbox.
Oh no, that was great.
But
no,
it's fun to watch.
no, that was great. That was great. Kristen Cole, not qualified, the most unqualified. And it shows in the leadership of the small council as well. That council has never looked so more like a hot mess than this episode today. Shit was not going well. They weren't getting anything done. The dude, the Lannister, was like, can you show me your link where it says Master of the Citadel is also an expert at war? I was like, wow, we throwing like jabs at each other like right here, right now. This is terrible. The only person who seemed to have some kind of sense, well, of course, is Alicent, and then it's, you know, her daddy's gone, but she's back in that position as before, this, you know, position of power, but nobody wants to listen to Alicent. And it's I'm not team Alicent, but God, I'm like, it's hard because I don't like Alicent, but it's like there's a point to be made here. The men are idiots.
So choose.
You choose. You've been quiet.
I've just been absorbing everything in. I absorbed all of the hate for Kristen Cole, you know?
What would you do? What do you counsel Aegon to do? Go to war?
Get off that throne. It's not yours.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair. There was a great discussion about Aegon and his eagerness. They should call him Aegon the Eager because he wanted to fly out and join the fight. And they're like, no, you should not do that. Even Kristen Cole, I think that was probably the smartest thing he said, was he said, no, you shouldn't go. No, but he said, okay, send Vhagar. No, Vhagar is the best defense for the keep. She's got to stay here. I guess that's 2 points for Kristen Cole.
A clock is right twice a day. I mean,
wow. I guess that works. Sure.
Those feel like kind of like bottom of the barrel, like bars on the ground type of suggestions.
exactly.
Like in comparison to other types of political maneuverings that we've seen, not only in this show, but the original series. it feels like the bar's pretty low of just like the king probably shouldn't go, and the biggest dragon also probably shouldn't go.
So we're not trying to handicap this at all. We're not trying to give him
Any credit?
Nothing.
No.
He doesn't
Wow.
need it.
Y'all
He
are
didn't.
haters. I like Kristen Cole.
You
first of
like
all.
Kirsten Cole?
I told you he's a man scorned. I understand.
I see.
Rhaenyra was too good. He couldn't get over it. I get it.
You're terrible.
To your point though, I do think it's interesting I likely they did this on purpose of seeing kind of the foils of like Rhaenyra as well as Alicent navigating the councils, because in both cases they're not being listened to and they're not being taken into consideration what their ideas are, the fact that they're wanting to reach some type of agreement that doesn't immediately lead to like bloodshed and battle and thousands upon thousands of people dying. But in both cases, I think one feels more like for Alicent, it feels more active in terms of just like, yeah, we're completely ignoring her. And for Rhaenyra, it feels more like benevolent, where it's like, oh, well, you can maybe go away and we'll take care of business. So let's keep you safe. And so it's interesting kind of just watching that play out for both of them within the same episode. So.
No, very true. I feel that was definitely a story choice to kind of have that go back and forth. We've mostly always seen very parallel scenes between Alicent and Rhaenyra, to where a lot of the machinations of this world play in favor for Rhaenyra than they do Alicent. Like Alicent is more of a pawn than Rhaenyra is an active player. But here, yes, they're trying to more or less make her a pawn because she's not acting. They want her to act. They want her to go ahead and make some big moves. And the only person that seems she's actually heeding their counsel is Rhaenys, which I like. Rhaenys might be my favorite. She's
Why?
quite wise because she's smart. She knows what she's talking about.
You like that stone cold stare that she gives?
I love that stare.
Where she doesn't need to say anything, but Rhaenyra's like, I agree.
She owns it. She's got it. All it takes is one look from Rhaenys, and that's probably the smartest thing anyone said in the last 5 minutes in this little council. Because I did not write this quote down perfectly. There is no greater shame in the eyes of the gods than a war of kin. I was like, yes, I like that. Eat it.
It was pretty good.
Well, that kind of drives Rhaenyra, kind of her mindset. If she wasn't speaking her mind out loud with regards to, kind of that subconscious idea that I'm fighting my brother, or I'm fighting my brothers and whatnot. Rhaenys basically called it out as it is and said, hey, this is what it is. Yeah, I see you're probably feeling this. Let's call a spade a spade. All right. And good and well too, you send the dragons, everybody loses. Dragons included. She was the only one not afraid to say what needed to be said. Respect.
It's there. Yeah, those dragons, they're tactical nukes in their world. No one wants to fire them because they know once the button is pressed, all hell's gonna break loose.
I appreciated that there was that recognition. I felt like we maybe heard it a little bit more from the Blacks because they have the most dragons, but from both sides of like, yeah, if we set off the dragons, there is no coming back. Like it's go time. And so this attempt to, okay, can we raise armies? How about we do some scouting? Let's go and do some recruitment first before heading to the dragons, because yeah, when something's burned or bit or eaten, it's kind of over.
Actually, I guess. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like even her council was like suggesting Unleash the dragons, my queen. We must do this. And Rhaenyra's the only one like exercising a steady hand, like, no, we're not gonna do that. Let's think about this. And I like how she's kind of recognizing that her mentality, she sees that same strategy being used from the Greens, saying like they are thinking the same exact thing that I'm thinking right now. We are not using those damn dragons. We will go and recruit like normal civilized people, but you know shit is about to hit the fan regardless.
But also remember, Rhaenyra is exercising great restraint because their dragons outnumber the Greens. They have 13 last I count.
All hatched or 13 dragons? Rhaenyra?
She said 13.
Yeah, there are a lot of dragons. And I imagine we will get to dragon seed talk in a moment, but there are a lot of like dragons that don't currently have riders. So that's going to be a big thing, and they introduced it last episode, talked a lot more about it this episode. But yeah, the Blacks have way more dragons than it's just that the Greens have the biggest dragon.
Right.
But
I don't think we ever talked about how many. Did we put a number to it? How many dragons equals a Vhagar?
Oh,
I was questioning Rhaenys's dragon plus Daemon's dragon, if that equated to one Vhagar, and we were in agreement that no, it doesn't. Right?
I said it didn't. I think I'm thinking you need at least 4. You throw Cyrax in there.
Storm Dancer.
Moon Dancer's pretty small.
Never.
Moon Dancer's pretty young.
Moon Dancer.
The bigger ones are the ones who are currently don't have riders. So
throw
They
all
need
of
riders.
them. All of them at Vhagar. Every single one.
That'd probably be the smartest thing to do. Speaking of dragonless or riderless dragons, there are some dragonless riders. Rhaena took a spotlight here in this episode. You said nuclear deterrent, these dragons and whatnot.
Right.
Now they're planning for the fallout. They said, hey, Rhaena, you're gonna go probably to Pentos, be super far away from all this. You're taking Joffrey, you're taking little Viserys and little Aegon, and you're gonna mother them. I'm giving you 4 eggs. I'm also sending a big dragon to protect the Vale. Stay there and raise my kids. And keep in mind, Rhaena is from a place, her mindset was Vhagar. She was to inherit Vhagar after Laena passed. And then, Aemon comes in and says, you should have claimed her then. You don't really come back from that, I don't think. It's tough.
and then her betrothed was killed by Vhagar.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah. I
But,
forgot.
double down. Yeah. There's a lot of layers to the piece with Aemon and Vhagar, and then also bringing in Rhaena. But yes, she's not really in a great position. And now has a lot of responsibility. 3 kids, 4 dragon eggs.
Dragon eggs is like walking around with a detonator. Now she got 4.
She got 4 of them.
Big
Deadly.
responsibility. And then at the same time too, I imagine some part of her wants to be more active in this war. Baela, her sister's out here riding around. I mean, she has a dragon, so she can. And what does she know about motherhood? Her mother, died at childbirth. I don't know. I feel she's been dealt a poor hand, but I think I'm expecting some big things from Rhaena very soon. I have my thoughts. They mentioned sea smoke again. If they're gonna keep mentioning him, I'm gonna think something's gonna happen. Give that dragon to his niece. Let's go. Let's get Rhaena on the back of sea smoke and call it a day.
It's probably not happening.
That's gonna happen.
I don't know.
It's gonna happen. My girl is getting a dragon. It's about damn time. You'll see.
We shall see.
Yes, you'll see. Bayla gets something to do this time around. Out scouting on Moon Dancer. Now this is actually the first time we've seen Moon Dancer. Pretty dragon.
Green.
All right.
Pretty fast.
Very fast.
That dive was smooth. Man, she said it was Sir Kristen Cole. I'm like, how the heck did you see Sir Kristen Cole?
She got close.
What, she got eyes like a hawk?
I thought there was like a mental connection with like the dragon, so that they can, whatever the dragon sees, she can see. So she's like, oh, that's Kristen Cole, all the way down
Was
there.
she a warg?
Yes, like Aragon and Saphira.
No, I meant a warg, like, you know, Bran
Oh.
warging into the wolf.
She can
Dude,
be.
don't do no Aragon things in here.
It's the same thing.
No.
It's
Actually,
the mental connection.
No. He stole that from Game of Thrones.
Incorrect.
He is not what's the word? Creative. Moving on. That was a cool scene. We're exposed. And yeah, there just so happened to be a dragon right there. I was like, damn, sucks for y'all. We didn't mention this either. He's riding with Allison's brother.
Yeah, we briefly talked about their interaction in the courtyard, but yes, yes, he is.
We haven't seen him since the tourney.
Mm-mm.
Oh God, I don't even remember him.
Well, he was just mentioned. You see Damon fighting, but I think he was played by like just an extra.
Okay. Oh yeah, because he would be young. Yeah, he would be younger.
Yeah, he would have been younger. Yeah,
okay.
Correct.
That
But
makes
other than that, he's just kind of there.
Yeah, he's there.
I don't know what role he's gonna play now, though. Now that he's back and he's here, he looks like he's I don't know. He doesn't look like he likes Kristen Cole or respects Kristen Cole, which I guess we did talk about that kind of. Wow, you're lowborn. You kind of moved up in the ranks. Good for you.
He owes him a debt now. He spotted the dragon.
Is that all it takes? Spot the dragon, make it to the tree line, and call it a day?
I mean, that's what he said after his life was saved. He's like, so Kristen Cole, I owe you a debt. Or was it him or one of the other guards? I think it was him.
I'm sure it was. I don't think the other guys had any lines.
There you
No
go.
ends.
He said it with more emphasis.
Well, I demand respect, is what Kristen Cole said. Everybody just wants some respect. Damon, when he's in Harrenhal, my prince, your grace.
Your grace.
Everybody wants respect. Your boy Aemond.
Poor Aemond.
Poor
Well,
Aemond.
quotation marks, but you know.
His brother's a bully. I'll tell him that much.
He's a bully.
He is a bully.
He was just teasing. He was
You're still
teasing.
laying with the madam of the house.
Oh man.
I know I had mentioned to the scene right before we saw the interaction between Aemon and Aegon. We got to see additional seeds planted about the dragon seeds. So I don't know if you all talked about that last week or if you know what the dragon seeds are. They did give a slight explanation in this episode, so I'm not giving any spoilers.
Wait, a dragon? Oh, wait, explain.
So dragon seeds are just like bastards of Targaryen.
Oh, did you buy that story?
Yes.
Clarify what's
What?
going on.
Okay, okay. One of the small council members, I don't know his name. They're in the whorehouse, and the bastard brother from Dorne, right? From Dorne.
So the there was a conversation with a man from Dorne.
Sorry, the small council guys from Dorne.
We
Okay.
met him last week, just so that we have names. And so this is Hugh, is the character we saw again this week. We met him last week. Hugh. So Hugh, last week, the interaction between it was like a family of 3, and there was someone who was the wife was like cooking, and she was complaining about like the cost of living and etc. The fact that the blockade is making things much harder for the small folk. And so that is when we were first introduced to him. And so we saw him again have an interaction in the bar right before Aegon walked in. And he had told the story that he is the son of a bastard brother of Daemon and Viserys. So this is really important because I mentioned a little earlier that there are dragons without riders. Well, we have dragon seeds. There is the potential to have that connection. As long as there's some kind of Valyrian blood, there could potentially be some riders to use.
Okay. We did not talk about him last week. We completely glossed over.
I didn't even know he was in last week's episode.
There were 4 that were introduced.
Okay, hold up now. Now, see, I read a spoiler.
Wow.
But I don't know how it's a spoiler because I don't know the lineage.
Yeah.
But we have to go into lineage. Introduce the lineage today. So he told his own story. But 4 new characters have been introduced, and all of them are potential dragon seeds. And so we got details of that from Hugh, who is the one we spent a little bit more time with in today's episode.
Okay.
Dr. Jace, you know who the other 2 are. Come on.
I do. The other,
there were some characters we were like, we don't know what they're here for.
Oh God, no. The guys at the docks? The carrot stew? No.
No.
We didn't even see them this episode, right? We didn't
see them this episode, and I do not know their lineage because I feel
spoil anything.
Yeah.
What I want to know is these, like, they're not introducing these characters for no reason. And so we got more details this week from Hugh telling his story of like, and he mentioned the word dragon seed, and it indicated like it's dangerous, and this is why I can't talk about it, because there's the potential for, they don't want people that are technically connected to any type of royalty to be around.
Oh my God.
Wow.
You just made me realize something. There are a bunch of them bastards, Aegon's bastards, running around in that child ring.
Yes.
Whoa.
I do remember that a little bit.
So it's okay that you didn't talk about it this week because I actually gave you the language like this week of actually saying dragon seeds. And people who are familiar with the book had been waiting to see when we'd be introduced to characters. And so they've done that from episode 1, introduced more episode 2, got a little bit more details in this episode.
So we've met 3?
4, actually.
4.
One
Right.
is a kind of it was very quick scene. So I'm sure we'll have more time with him a little
Oh,
bit.
geez. I have no idea. Who we're talking about.
So regardless, we'll just use the information we have right now in terms of just like the word dragon seed, Hugh being present and now back-to-back episodes, sharing a little bit about his lineage, getting that brief interaction with Aegon. It's going to be important to kind of keep up with like, okay, if new characters are introduced, it's likely that they're going to be really important to the happenings. And so this is one of them. The idea of a dragon seed, the fact that there are riderless dragons. We need riders for those dragons as things continue to kind of unravel and eventually pop off. So
This changes things. Drastically.
Now this episode's phenomenal.
No, because I mean, funny listening to his story, he's like, I don't buy it. He's making this up. He ain't no related to Miss Saris.
I probably gotta rewatch that scene again. I was looking on my phone when he was talking. Like, who is this guy?
They were
he's
making
another
fun of him.
carrot stew.
They said, look at his hair. Look at his hair.
That's right.
People, we got to pay attention to what the details are of what they're sharing.
I'll rewatch it. I'll rewatch that scene.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably go rewatch the Hall brothers and listen to what they were saying, because I'm like,
They did have some dialogue. This is it would go into spoiler territory, so I won't say it, but I would suggest rewatching the scene between the two Hall brothers, because they indicated some dialogue that'll give you additional clues, so you can start to put some ideas together. So
I heard one thing, but I didn't, as far as like all these moving timelines, and I was like, they look like the same age as this character. I don't think they could be related like that. I'll have to go back and watch it. But this changes things.
yes.
It might be a race, to see who can find the blood and put them on. This shall be interesting. Aegon also looking for respect. Trying to really be in the role of the king. He doesn't even seem like he cares about, it's not even like a revenge plot anymore. He's just kind of like, it's war then. Let's do it. Let's go. Put me in the armor of the conqueror.
Was that really like size fitted from the Conqueror, or was that like just it looks like it? Is that the same exact one?
They said it was the same.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was like, is Aegon the Conqueror like a shrimpy dude too? I was like, Aegon the Conqueror, not as big and menacing as I pictured him.
Napoleon complex.
Maybe, possibly. That's why he had the world's largest dragon.
Right.
Dragon. I don't know if you have to be big yourself. So
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. His knight friends are a little too chummy, for my taste. And he clocked them for it too. Which I'm like, okay, go ahead, Aegon. Yes. I demand respect.
You're sworn to chastity. And what was their response? They're like,
right, Your Grace, right. And he's like, oh, Your Grace.
I actually like this scene. It was nice. It was nice. He exercised some authority.
Well, I think what's going on, he's slowly kind of, we saw it when he was listening to the small folk coming with their pleads, and he wanted to be good to them, right? And then call it what it is, but him taking out the rat catchers, that was him exerting power to for a benefit, I guess. Well, no, that was for revenge, but he's exerting power, he's exerting control. He's not necessarily being the best king, but he's trying different avenues of what being a king is. Now, with that said, at equal parts him doing that, does he fall back into getting drunk and going to the whorehouse and whatnot to, I don't know, take this squire's virginity? So it's interesting to watch him kind of flip-flop and try to find his way.
yeah, I think this episode particularly gave us some, not that it would be a surprise, but he's incredibly naive.
Yeah.
Even the piece, like he was speaking to the Kingsguard, and they had mentioned, this person is a virgin and we should go, and etc. And he's like, didn't you take vows like celibacy? Aren't you not split? And they're like, LOL, no, like we don't do that. And so it really, even that just scene gave some additional kind of insight on just like, yeah, he was never really built for this. I think we knew that ahead of time, but little by little we're getting even more insight on like who he is, and just the how unfit he is to be in this role, but ultimately is in it. So then how is he gonna start to kind of fuck everything up as he stumbles his way through, especially now without Otto being present as at least someone who's capable. Is he manipulative and doing things for his own personal gain? Absolutely, but he is capable, and Aegon is certainly not. So.
Neither is Kristen Cole as his most trusted advisor. Absolutely not. Yeah, no.
Laura Strong is Master of Whispers.
Ah,
You got a bunch of people that are just in positions that are questionable.
well, Lars Strong, that was a calculated move, making him the Master of Whispers. It's fitting, first of all, because he didn't have a seat on the council.
He did not.
Now he has one.
And you have 3 people that are, so you have Kristen, Aegon, and Laris, who were very quick to just like get somebody. And I don't know if like killing people immediately is always the best course of action, but all 3 of them have done it. So
Correct. I feel we're building Aegon's 6, like Ocean's 11. Like, who's
God.
next? Who's he bringing in next?
One of the rat catchers.
I mean, technically, he's got his bumbling Kingsguard.
He's got them.
Who's next? He's about to bring in the worst people to run this kingdom.
yeah.
Word for the lad. Word for the lad. Other than that, I mean, there's Daemon. I guess he's hanging out in Harrenhal until I don't know, they get this garrison, I guess. So he's dealing with the ghost of Harrenhal, seeing young Rhaenyra, Millie.
Oh, that was a nice surprise.
That was a nice surprise. I like seeing Millie. Probably won't see her again until the new Superman movie.
Unless
Yeah.
Daemon has more nightmares.
Unless he has more nightmares. But really, yeah, I guess he's just waiting around for the next episode, which I think we're gonna see him take some action. But I guess, yeah, this episode capitalizes on, well, Missario is here too. Good for her. She's gaining the trust of Rhaenyra. We saw this coming with her stepping up in the Eric versus Eric. We'll see where this goes. I mean, actually, she was pivotal here. Rhaenyra finally opens that letter from Alicent.
And when did she receive that letter?
She received it right after.
Right after Luke.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now she's just opening it because now she's like, it's gotten to the point. They're calling me Rhaenyra the Cruel. You killed my son. Daemon killed Jaehaerys. This has to stop. They want to send dragons. She says, I got to try one last desperate thing before, we checked all the boxes. This definitely was desperate. I was like, this is dumb, Rhaenyra. Don't you go to King's Landing. Look what happened last time one of y'all went to King's Landing. Things didn't go well.
What happened last time?
Daemon went to King's Landing. Daemon.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you meant like publicly, like someone went to King's Landing, but no.
No.
In secrecy. In secrecy, yes.
Correct. But yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures. Did y'all figure it was gonna be the Sept?
It's fitting.
That felt like the only, as soon as she said, that there is one place she goes that's outside of the Red Keep. I was like, oh yeah, the Sept. Makes
Pray to the 7.
It's funny to see structures like the Sept, knowing good and well what happens later on in the franchise.
about 150 years from now.
Right. That Sept will just be nothing but a pile of green rubble.
Simpler times.
I guess. Just loaded up with a bunch of wildfire. But yeah, we get this Rhaenyra and Alicent reunion. I don't think you should open up with a knife, but that's just me.
Precautionary.
Right. I slit your throat if you scream.
Correct.
They'll capture you.
She doesn't know.
Yeah, so
She doesn't know what Allison's gonna say since seeing her face.
true.
She's like, listen, I'm here to talk, but just in case your first reaction is, guards, I got a knife. I'll use it. And what did she say? She's like, and what if I scream or something? I don't know. Rhaenyra realized like this plan is stupid. Like, I'm not gonna stab you.
Well, I think Rhaenyra was ready to die. She said, "All right, you scream."
Oh no, like she was ready to do it right then and there, but then I think Alicent like asked like a question in the middle of it, and she's like, "No, this is silly. What am I doing? I'm not gonna kill you." And then they started talking. They started talking.
You said simpler times. Here's simpler times. When they used to be friends. Because I think the last time they were together in the Sept was when they were praying because Rhaenyra just lost her mother.
Oh wow, was that the last time?
Yeah, when they were together in the Sept.
When they were together in the Sept, right?
Right. And you know what Alicent said, I've been praying for Luke this whole time. Okay.
Thanks.
Your kid killed him still. What are we gonna do about it?
I mean,
and what?
Oh, go ahead. What?
No, go.
No, I was just gonna say I liked how they tried to keep it civil in the beginning, but then like the blame game started to domino. Like, oh yeah, well Aemon killed him. Oh yeah, but well you sent someone inside to kill Jaehaerys, like someone in their sleep. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. Don't say that I did that. I mean, I don't know. I liked how ultimately the frustration of everything that's happened so far just started boiling out at this point in their conversation.
And you... Oh.
No, I was gonna say even that scene just was. It really captured the that so much of this is just like based off of like pride, ego, and misunderstanding, and how frustrating I imagine it will be for the small folks that will ultimately be impacted. That like all of this is going to unravel because, and you get to the part around like the prince that was promised, and he met Aegon the Conqueror and Aegon your son, and there's just that moment of realization of like, oh shit, well, it's kind of already started. Like there's nothing that can be done. They're not listening to me, etc. And I know we as like the viewers were talking about it of like, well, we know that all of this was a misunderstanding, and all of this is like these people don't have all the correct information, and now the characters are finding this out, and yet nothing is going to be done about it. And yeah, for me watching that scene, it just felt, and credit to the writers and to both actors in the scene too, of just like, how sad is it that like, the last time they were in the Sept was because they had a close relationship and were offering support to one another, and the next time that they're together, it's to say like, so we're starting, and we can't really do a lot about it besides like be committed to our sides. And it's just really, it's really unfortunate. And I think what's so helpful about having at least some degree of sympathy for both characters is that they've set up kind of the history of their relationship since the first season, to be able to say like, this does suck that you have these two people who were initially so close now on opposite sides of what is about to be something really tragic, besides the tragedy that's already happened, of course, but even more so.
And the fact that, you know, this whole episode plays out as nobody wants to listen to either of them. Mm-hmm. They are listening to each other, and yet they can't come to an agreement. Alicent has given up on trying to be a part of the decision process, but B as well, you know, the revelation of this might have been a story that Viserys was telling. She said it's too late. It's too late. You should have told me this 2 weeks ago.
She didn't know.
She said, you should have told me, but why didn't you tell me before I put that crown on my son's head?
If
all
only.
you had to do was right. All you had to do was tell me the story. How come this is the first time I'm hearing this story? You're too late.
I think it's because she didn't even know. Oh no, she thought that she was lying this entire time about the Aegon stuff. That Aegon was king. Yeah, because from here on, I mean, they're even saying it in their conversation that you know, why would my father like all of a sudden just from like the day I was even born, he always said like, you know, I was the next one. I was the next in line. And then Allison's like, no, it's Aegon. It's Aegon. He changed his mind. He changed his mind. And at that point, Rhaenyra kind of like caves in a little bit. She's like, well, I mean, what did he say? Like at that point, she knows that Alicent is genuinely not lying to her. And then once she hears the story, then she's like, whoa, hold up there. About that Aegon that was referenced. But it was too late. She runs away.
Too many damn names. Too many Aegons.
That's what they get.
They're asking for confusion.
And they got it. Now they got a war coming because of it.
Yeah, no, that was it. Alicent said, I'll let you make it back to Dragonstone, but hey, it's on.
Terrible.
Kind of sad. Kind of sad.
Tragic.
But we're here for that bloody war. We want war. We want to see it. We didn't come to Game of Thrones for a game of Parcheesi.
What if they negotiated a peace? Isn't that better?
No, we want war.
Wow.
In the Game of Thrones, there is no middle ground.
I guess.
Same thing with the show. We want big action set pieces and dragons blowing everybody away.
I guess we're getting it next week.
So it would appear. I have no idea how that goes down. Because if it's a battle for Harrenhal, Caraxes is there. They don't know Caraxes is there.
Yeah, I don't think so yet.
Right. That's gonna be a surprise for them.
And they technically already swore allegiance to, right?
Yeah, but there's nobody at Harrenhal, so who knows if the Tullys are another key here. Tullys is a great family. Catelyn Stark is a Tully. So, ooh, cool connectivity.
Connectivity. It's all real.
We like connectivity. This is probably the great-great-great-grandfather of Catelyn Stark.
I guess.
That's where a good amount of the Bannermen are.
Okay.
And so you get him, they gather at Harrenhal, you have a fighting chance for what's about to come. Well, Daemon just wants to march on King's Landing. He gets that army, he gets the march. But Kristen Cole and his group is there. Will they send a dragon in time? Who they got? They got Vhagar, Aegon's dragon. What's the name? Sunfire.
And then is it Dream something?
That's Helena's.
Dream.
I think it's Dream. I have to look it up.
Does their other sibling who we have not met have a dragon?
Yes. Darren? Yes, he does have a dragon.
Ooh.
He's in Old Town. Let's see, dragons.
I have to look on my map to see how far Old Town is from the Riverlands.
Old Town, I believe, is near the Reach. I could be wrong though. So yes, the Greens have Vhagar, Sunfire, Dreamfire is Helena's, and then I can't recall the name of Darren's, but we've only heard his name. His name was mentioned in episode 2.
Right.
Okay.
Old Town's super far from here. Not probably not going to be of importance. Probably not going to see him. But yeah, as Dr. Rika said, plenty of setup with House of the Dragons. And I think we're about to get our first really big payoff of the season. Mind you, this is an 8-episode season, not 10 episodes. So this is the halfway point. Consider next week the mid-season finale. But goodness, I think that's it. Did we forget anything?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
A lot to be looking forward to. Big battle. Riderless dragons and dragonless riders. Greens and blacks.
Yeah.
It's here.
No one listens to women.
Nobody listens to women.
We should do that.
Some men get in power where they should never have that power.
That as well, yeah.
Problematic. We love House of the Dragon, though. We love it. But goodness, I guess that's it from us here at the Yonko table, talking about House of the Dragon, the burning mill. This is the mill that keeps turning and keeps burning. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since Aegon been churning. And we will see. Yeah, that was nice, right? You weren't ready for that.
Was it?
It's kind of gross too.
No, that wasn't gross. Either way, thank you for listening to us on all your various podcast stations, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and wherever you listen to us. Thank you for your support on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube with Dr. Jace Attorney. And of course, if you want to join the discourse that you hear on our show, please join the Discord in the link below, and we'll gladly duke it out with you. But with that said, I am your Yonko host, Grandmaster Hoop, fellow Yonko, Dr. Jace Attorney, and of course, Supernova, Dr. Rika. How shall we close this out?
Yeah. Do you have a song on your heart?
Ooh, The Devil is a Lie, but I don't know how that fits with Game of Thrones.
The dragon is a lie.
Aegon is a lie.
Hmm.
Alicent's a lie.
The 7 are a lie.
You got no confidence lately.